Okay, if you want to say it, go ahead.
But
But
a harsh word about food.
you can say it, but I am not aligned with that faction.
No, is it like a slur that I'm
It is
like
a
not aware
slur.
of?
It is a slur, but
But it's against.
not in all countries. Just I think it's in the United States it's a slur, but in England it's like a word. We're streaming now, by the way.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But
Hi everyone.
You, huh? What'd you say?
I said hi. I said
Oh.
hi.
I don't know if anybody's here yet. I didn't do. Oh, there's 3 people here.
Yay. Okay.
I will open up the Word document because I knew that if I showed the Google Doc, it would have been people emailing us. So, I have it in a WordPad. Are you ready?
Oh, good.
We'll
Yeah.
wait for people to show up, so we'll just chat. Hey, Brianna, Kimura. Everybody's Twitch names are always so hard to say. Brianna Kimura and
Brianna Kimura.
Captain Juggy. I'm also on the big screen
Party
TV.
people! Woo!
I'm also on the big screen TV, so everything's far away. Hi, One Fly Guy. Hi, Facial Beard Much Hair. Oh, we know who you are.
We definitely know who that is.
Lerouk and XX Jit Wolfman Things XX. Nicole
Samson Mandela.
Nicole 08139, hello. Samson Mandela, hello. Heart heart.
Yes, it's both of us.
Yeah, this is the Geek Remix Live podcast.
Hell yeah!
I am going to add a link to this on Tumblr.
Oh, so total sidebar, how much of Long Live the Queen have you played?
I played through it once, and then I was like, I
You
died.
didn't beat it, did you?
No,
Yeah,
I died.
Okay. Yeah. All right, because I played through it like a couple times, and like every single time I kept dying, but like in worse and worse ways. Like at first it was like, oh, like you're deposed from your kingdom, like boo. And then the next one was like, oh, you're injured and and like die slowly. And then the next one was like, you're beheaded.
I got assassinated because what I did. What the? Don't do that. I got assassinated. I assume because I didn't go into the right ones because I wanted to be a badass. So I was like, okay, train in military and like espionage, and then I failed all the parts where I needed to be charming.
Yeah, me too.
So it sucks. So now this one, everyone can see what they're saying. Yay.
Yay.
There's 13 people here. Do you want to start? And then we'll just
Yeah,
go?
sure. Why not?
Okay. So, welcome to Geek Remix Podcast, Episode 2 live! Most people's
Yay!
live podcasts have people with their faces. But we're cooler than that because we're terrified of being murdered.
Yep. Pretty much.
I sectioned it off into Mari articles and Stacy articles, and then we can just switch off to whatever we feel like it.
Okay.
First, same-sex marriage is legal nationwide.
Holy crap.
Suck it or lick it or whatever you do to it.
Yes.
And
And whatever it happens to be, it is now totally okay.
Whatever it is, things are happening to it. And you're doing it to it.
You can do it.
And you can do it. Unless it's non-consensual, then you can't. But,
Yes.
you know, other people who have nothing to do with you, they're doing things that they want to do. How's that feel? World.
World, take that, world. We
What are you gonna do about
finally
it now?
did it.
Mormons who spent their entire family's life savings on going against a bill that would legalize gay marriage across the entire United States. How does that feel now? Because that's what happened last time. That's what happened last time. Moving on. In-air diagrams, which would be like in-air holograms, because you know how holograms, the ones we have now are projections onto glass or projections onto smoke?
Yes.
So now, like, we're gonna have holograms that are actually like holograms, like in the air, like
true holograms.
Yes. So here it is. It doesn't do a good job explaining, but basically, what this is. See how he's touching it? That's in the air. So what was happening before is they could do these, but the plasma was so hot that if you touched it, it would burn you.
Oh, good.
So now we have these holograms that people can touch. They're very, very small. So I'm assuming this takes like a lot of power.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm not smart enough to figure this out. But I'm seeing people touching light, it moving, and I'm like, okay, I get it, sort of.
Whoa. It is kind of neat. Oh, I love how it's like a magnified image.
Yeah, because it's so small.
Yeah.
But this is like the holograms that they're making, so obviously this is the start. And apparently this is the damage that you would get with a normal one. But it's okay for you to touch these holograms. They're pretty primitive, I guess.
Okay.
And now, I guess what they're saying is that you can have holograms on your wrist, burning you in your skin.
You can now burn a bracelet into your wrist. Aren't you so glad?
Now, no, I was going to make a bad joke. Never mind.
All the bad jokes.
I'll tell you it later. There's this stuff. I understand
Look,
it.
there's science things.
There's science happening on the screen. So, basically what they're doing is they're making holograms. Oh God, okay, that doesn't look safe. And now they're touching the holograms. But these are true holograms. That means that they don't need to be projected in anything. Those are happening in the air by from what I understand, what's happening is two lasers are touching each other, and then the points at which the lasers are touching each other is where you can see the dots of light.
It's laser fucking. That's it.
What you're seeing here is hardcore
laser porn.
Laser fucks. Laser double penetration laser fucking.
Yes.
Is what you're seeing right now.
It's just and these bigger ones, it's like a laser orgy in the air.
Yes.
See how they're swirling around each other?
What is happening?
Yeah.
This is completely factual.
We figured it out. We solved science.
So what you're seeing, we thought you were seeing like beautiful lights, but really what you were seeing was like the most demeaning, hardcore laser porn ever. It's like illegal. It's NC-17, like
laser
illegal
porn.
in 30 states laser porn. Do you want to? Let's talk about one of Stacey's ones. Which one do you want me to click on?
Let's go to so Manus Machina is building gaming gloves for virtual reality.
You know what I first thought of?
What?
You said the
Nintendo Power Glove?
Yeah, but have you ever seen that one clip from The Wizard where he says, "I love the glove, it's so bad"?
No.
Oh my god. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. It's so bad. Okay. Hold on.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. Yeah, well,
you know I'm not going to see it for like another 40 seconds, right?
Yeah, but just wait, dude.
Oh boy.
Kojioki just sponsored our channel on Game Wisp. Thank you. No. Don't go in there. Don't do that. Copyright strike. So Stacy, tell us about the Manus Machina.
Okay, yes. Sorry, I heard like us in the okay. All right. So basically the people have developed like the gloves for virtual to be used with virtual reality gaming before, but they're all super duper expensive. Like you're talking like 10 grand a glove.
Mm-hmm.
So really not something that would be usable in your like you see them at like E3 and
Question.
stuff. What?
When you're using the glove, does it have feedback onto your hands?
No, I don't think they've done that yet. I think that
That
so
is
far
when
they're
porn will have taken over.
yeah. I think that so far it's just like being able to make your hands appear in virtual reality. But the big thing that they're trying to get is the cost down so that like it would be affordable to the average person.
Mm-hmm.
So consumer price tag meaning I don't
I
know
heard
exactly
about this on the Giant Bomb podcast where
the
they were
specific
talking.
one.
Yeah, because we were in the car. Do you remember hearing it? And I was like, "This." They were playing with each other in the game.
Oh yeah, I remember, but I didn't know that they were talking about this specific one.
Well, this is the only one that was really being displayed on the show floor, I think.
They have other ones. It's
Well,
just
you
that
know what? The way they were describing it, I'm assuming it works for all of them, and they put a hot guy at their booth, so obviously this is a good one.
oh no, if it's the hot guy, then it's definitely this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was at E3. They have other gloves for virtual reality. They have like other hand things, but the thing is that they're not affordable at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're like purely like prototype only, like will never be created for consumers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in the next 2 to 3 months, they're hoping to have a developer's kit ready for the gloves so that like it could be soon, you know?
How much do you think it's going to be? Just quote unquote affordable?
Around $200.
Oh, dude!
Yeah.
Stacy, we can get a set and then we can just stare at each other in virtual reality. So, when people were talking about how, like, being this virtual reality and, like, seeing each other, like, from long distances, like, over the internet, my first thought went to Demolition Man, where everyone was having sex in virtual reality helmets. And I was like, God, that would, like, suck. That would be, like, kind of lonely. But then I was like, what about people in long-distance relationships? Virtual reality sex. Like, oh, no, I don't want to be me. I want to be a pony. I'm pretty sure lots of people are into that.
Whoa. You're talking about bestiality.
No, like a cartoon pony, so it's okay.
So...
What I'm saying is, fact, I'm going to pretend to be Commander Shepard, going to make my boyfriend put on his VR, and be like, hey, Garrus, what's up? You know I'm onto something. Like ultimate role playing.
I don't know. I think it could be really fun. Although the thing is that like some people apparently get super, super nauseous from virtual reality.
They've
like,
been trying to correct that with
yeah.
nausea, algorithm, science, math.
Well, I think it's also a matter of getting used to it because when lots of times like if new game systems come out and the effects are different, like 3D movies for example made people nauseous when they first started to watch them people are like they still make people nauseous because they're like, holy shit, what's this, whoa, and your brain's like, oh, I'm confused, blah. So
I think they also made it less crazy, like they improved the technology. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like 3D puts a lot of strain on your eyes. But, you know, what am I going to do? Be in the past with no holograms burning me?
Mari, you're just holding us back.
I'm holding you back. I don't want to be burned by holograms and then have virtual reality sex with a pony in video games, but I'm the one holding us all back. I don't.
Mari, if you're interested in virtual reality sex with cartoon ponies, there are some very dark places on the internet I could take you to.
Stacey, I feel like virtual reality sex with My Little Pony characters is the least gross thing I can think of what people would do. Because you know how I do with my internet, where I'm like, oh man, this is so weird, I'm gonna read all about it, and then like 2 days later I'm like, I understand them, I understand where they're coming from, I too understand what it's like to feel like...
Don't
Yeah.
complete that sentence. Just don't. Okay?
I watched like 20 asthma videos being like, what? No. And then I was like, but yeah, touch that cream cheese. Touch it. Open it. It's so weird. It's so weird. It'll be like, asthma, touching a sponge. And I'm like, what? And I'll be like, just watch this person touching a sponge for 3 minutes, like listening to the sponge sounds. It's like so weird.
That sounds like a thing.
People are talking about Dreamfall Chapter 3, which they didn't, like, say anything, and Stacey had this awesome video ready for...
I'm so bummed about that.
Stacey had this awesome video ready for Dreamfall, like, before Chapter 3.
Theory,
and it was really good, and then they just released it. I was like, oh, like, they're not going to release it for another few months. I have time to, like, finish editing this. And then I felt like an asshole. Because I was like, oh no. It's like someone told me, like, no. I'm an asshole. The end. That's the end of my story.
yeah, so...
Let's do one of my things. Oh, the French government orders Uber ban after taxi protests.
There's been a lot of shit going down with Uber in France. And in other countries too, because it's it's kind of like I don't want to say unregulated, but pretty much.
It is unregulated.
Yeah.
Here, there was, like, they all know, I don't know how to explain. They're supposed to get screened for, like, criminal backgrounds and stuff, and then they say they do, and then they never do. And this woman, the guy drove her to some random parking lot, and she was like, what the fuck are you doing? Take me home. And she pretty much threw a fit until he finally took her home. Turns out he was, like, a registered sex offender, and he wasn't supposed to be hired, but then they did. And all they did was refund her the insane amount of money she was charged because he refused to take her home.
Oh, because she was just sitting in the car?
Yes. They didn't, like, do anything else and stuff like that. But on the other hand, like, I was reading comments on the internet. Okay, just give me, okay?
Just a second to get to why you're reading comments on the internet.
People being like, hey, I run a hotel, or I'm a manager at a hotel, and we preferred the Uber services because they were faster and cleaner and quote-unquote safer. I mean, that's what they said. That's not what I'm saying. But this was in France. These were people talking from France.
Yeah.
And what they had done was, like, they were flipping cars over and shit. Look at this.
Travel
Here, I'll
chaos
switch.
targeted across Paris.
Look.
The American singer
Yeah, it's
cars
crazy.
suspected of being part of the US
Yeah.
firm were violent.
So the question is,
They, like, set cars on fire and shit.
on one side, we have people saying, like, but it's like, I don't want to think of them as one gelatinous mass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On one side, they were saying, well, these Uber drivers are not regulated. They don't have licenses to be a taxi, and that's not okay, and they're not enforcing that rule. And then on the other side, like, they were having these intense protests. And then again, I'm being filtered these protests through the news, so I don't know what the real thing is. But they're saying that, and I'm wondering, like, then they banned Uber, like, they banned it, and I'm wondering, is that okay to to ban Uber, like a taxi service, because of violent protests. But were they violent protests? I don't know.
Well, put it this way, like this isn't like consumers were revolting. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is a competitor that's revolting.
Yeah, that's the thing that
That's the
upsets
weird
me.
thing about it. Like it's like say if in the United States like Xbox released a new console and PlayStation was like, "Fuck you guys, we hate you guys," and like just started trashing Xbox, like went to like all the stores and trashed
Oh,
Xboxes and
can I
all of this.
interrupt you for a second? Because somebody
Yeah.
in chat is from France. He says, I'm pissed
Oh,
that the government caved into violent protests. If Uber
yeah.
needs to be regulated, that's fine, but the way it was handled in France was terrible. Oh, are you from France? I don't know. Maybe. I was just assuming. Sorry. Uh, anyway, continue what you were saying. I just thought, you know,
Yeah,
the
but like
chat in here.
if you were to take out the fact that this is if you take out the fact that this is like Uber and it's like a startup and like all of these things, like this is a competitor that is pissed that their competitor Uber is not like following the law or regulated. Like, is Uber out operating outside the law, or are they protesting because they think it should be regulated and it's not? That's the question.
You know, it's hard to have like a legitimate opinion, in my opinion.
So,
Whatever. But you know what I mean? It's like we're reading the news, but it's hard to know if we don't live in France. But my opinion from what I am seeing right now, and I am more than willing to like rescind that opinion if someone from France is like, no, no, no. But I feel as if that I wouldn't want the government to give in to a violent protest. But then at the same time, I think about the United States and what's going on here, and I'm like, I don't know. But then I'm like, but it's about a consumer product, not
this
like
is like a consumer product, not a human rights issue.
yeah, it's not a human rights issue. So I'm like back and forth, like it's hard for me to know because I think about here and it's like civil rights and all this stuff. Like we're having violent protests in the United States because of like really bad social issues, and then there's violent protests there. But it seems more like of over a company, you know?
Well, the weird thing is that so Uber was banned by a French court last October, but has still been operating while it challenges the decision.
Oh,
Now, the crazy part is that like so I use Uber all the time. I love Uber. It's way cheaper than a taxi. It's way more reliable, oddly. And like it's I like it much better. The people that I've ridden with have all made me feel very safe and pleasant, and some of them are actually wicked nice. Because most people, it's like they're like either a delivery driver or they're just like doing it to like pick up some spare cash, like things like that. Um, and I know that they're kind of like operating in loopholes in the laws, but at the same time the consumers have made it clear that there's a big market for it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So
But there's like, in my opinion, I feel like they should still be abiding to the laws because,
I'm just saying that like the taxi drivers are protesting Uber. Are they looking at like why Uber is becoming more successful?
well, they weren't using licenses, and the reason why we need licenses is so people can register because we're having strangers picking up strangers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the issue is. But it's just, I thought it was an interesting thing. France is known for protesting a lot over everything. Like everything, but not to this where it's like flipping cars and shit and attacking people. They said that Courtney Love was attacked in her Uber car.
Weird.
So, yeah, she was in her Uber car and they were throwing eggs at her car and she was trying to run away from the car and she said that they threw rocks at her.
Um, Another thing to point out is this isn't like the first time that Uber has been protested or had an attempted ban. I believe
Well,
I believe that there was one other country where they've already been outright outlawed and forced out.
I wonder why that is. Like, I'm not, because Uber definitely has problems, but I'm wondering, This Hachirar says Uber is not a legitimate taxi service in any country. They're using a loophole to hire a bunch of people without paying people full time, like taxis. So I don't.
But there are lots of I don't know. It's like it. Do they have to be a taxi service? It's not really taxis. It's just rideshare.
It is rideshare. What the one thing I think about is that when you get in a taxi, it's already like you're kind of taking a risk. And then when
You're
you get
taking
in,
a risk no matter what. Like there are plenty of psycho taxi drivers. I've been attacked by a taxi driver. It's like no matter who you get in the car with, it's a stranger and you have to just like obviously there should be some you have to like be aware of it, but at the same time like no amount of regulation is going to completely protect you.
yeah. I remember like I get so paranoid over everything. I was in a taxi cab and he was like turning into like this side street that was, you know, those side streets downtown where they're not really streets, they're just the spaces between buildings.
Yeah, it's an alley. That's what they call an alley.
An alley. He
Not
was turning
sure if
into an
you've ever
alley, and I
heard
was like,
of those.
"What?" I was like, "What are you doing?" Because he didn't need to do that, and he was just not answering. So I opened the door and ran away.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I can either look like an asshole idiot, or I could be right. It's like, you know, what am I gonna do? Like, if I'm asking him what he's doing and he's not answering and he's turning into an alley, like,
One
that's
quick
just
clarification. Hello Lost just asked, let's hear the taxi assault story. I shouldn't have said assault. I wasn't assaulted. He wouldn't let me out of the car. Like, drove me around and was like saying that he was going to take me to his house and wouldn't let me out of the car. And so I jumped out of the car at a stoplight.
good job. See, this is the shit people have to deal with, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, it's the shit women have to deal with.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry that happened to you, Stacy. That sucks.
It's all right. Lots of weird shit. Oh, Mari, I
What
shared this
happened?
on Twitter this week, but I'm not sure if you knew
What
this.
fucked up thing happened?
Not like recently, but did I ever tell you that somebody tried to abduct me when I was little?
Yes, you did. You told me, and it
tried
scared
to-
the shit out of me. I'm like, oh my god, you could have never made it to
Yeah.
now.
That's why it's always so weird to read those stories about the girls that they find like in basements after like 17 years, and I'm like, oh my god, that could have been me.
No, you would have.
Or I would have
you
just
would have
been
left.
dead.
Cause you know how like they manipulate them into staying, and they're like, no, 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 he's my husband. You would have been like later, like
I was really little though. I had no
know,
idea.
Stacy, but like as soon as it would have been like, no, 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 like you can stay. Like, don't you want to stay? You've been sure. Anyway, bye. Like, walk right out the door. Like,
Yeah. It was really weird. Really weird. Hide your kids, hide your wife, everybody.
Do you want to tell the story?
Oh, sure. So I was in Boston with my mom, and I can't remember how old I was. I must have been like 5 or something. I don't know. Anyways, we were both like walking through Faneuil Hall, and I wasn't like too close to her, and some guy just walked right up to me and just like took my hand and started leading me away and led me out of the building and was like, and the whole time was just like, oh, come on, like we have to go meet your mother, blah 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 blah. And like I was really little, so I didn't know that this was like
Weird.
a bad thing or weird. I don't know, assumed that he was like, I don't know. You know how like you're super little, so you don't even like notice that. You're like, oh, okay, someone's taking me by the hand. This is how we cross the street. And like, and my mother like came running after me and started like hitting the guy with her purse, and he ran away.
When I was in Barcelona, I should explain this more. When
Yeah.
I was little, I lived in Barcelona because my dad was teaching there. What the fuck is this? Because my dad was teaching there because he's a professor. And so we lived there for a little bit, and I was just so in my own head that they had given me a squirt gun. But then I was like, oh, I need water. So then I just walked off in a foreign country to find this water fountain that I had seen like 30 minutes ago. And my parents were freaking out. Like, we've lost our child in this foreign country. And also,
There were definitely times where I like wandered off by myself, but yeah, I feel like you were probably even worse about that.
oh yeah, I was. My sister and I also were really bad sleepwalkers. So my sister actually slept walk out of the apartment we were living in Barcelona, and
Oh my
woke
God.
up outside in the middle of the night. And so she's yelling, "Daddy, Daddy!" And my dad hears and he's like, "Oh no, some child is lost." And he
Oh,
goes,
no.
"We're in Barcelona. They say Papa here," and he runs out and he finds my sister. It's like so crazy.
Just wandering out in the street.
Anyway, next Stacy article is this. What is this?
Oh yeah, so I don't know if you remember Banjo-Kazooie. Do you? They're-
Okay, so they did make a successor to Banjo-Kazooie, and it sucked because they made it not that. So I hope this is it. Right?
Yeah, this is like the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. It's going to be called Ukulele. And there was actually a Kickstarter for it, which was really successful. They asked for $270,000, which was actually less than they needed, which they got in 40 minutes. And by the
Obviously.
end, yeah, right. And by the end of the Kickstarter, a month later, they got about $3.3 million.
I just want to explain to everyone
From
how
set-
game development works. They're not going to make the entire game on $3 million, so don't compare that to Double Fine, because Double Fine
No.
made a game with $3 million. This was a proof of concept for investors saying, look, there's interest. So the $3 million was supposed to prove to further investors. A game like this would cost $20 million minimum and take, on top of this demo, another 2 or 3 years, maybe at most. Just
And
letting people
also,
know.
Like when people get money from Kickstarter, it's not like, so I actually read a pretty complete article about this the other day about like where all the money goes. And
Salaries, right?
yeah, salaries, because like the people who are working on the game, it's not like they're like just putting the money into the game and then like nobody eats for 3 years. Like you have to pay all the people that are working on it, and you know, the game development time, like all that stuff. And so anyways, it looks pretty cool. I believe so there's
Oh,
hold on,
I just want to say, like, people who, like, freak the fuck out about Life is Strange not being released exactly 6 weeks between each other. I'm like, do you know how
they said
fucking
8
hard...
weeks.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, people lost their shit because episode 3 wasn't out on time, even though they never promised a date. And I was like, do you know what it fucking takes to make an episodic game in that short of a time? Because Telltale takes like 4 months. So
Yeah.
they're like literally not sleeping. For real.
I know.
Like, they're not going home. They're not seeing their families the entire time. And people freak out about this. It's like, do you understand? And they have to pitch a timeline to the publisher, and the publisher says, no, make it shorter than that. Because what the publisher would rather have is having a short timeline and then them begging for more time, because they have to pay the salaries for that time. They have
Yeah.
to pay the hourly wages for interns and blah, 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 blah. So when there's a projection date in like the financial report and you assume that's real, that's not real. That's the that's the unrealistic expectation that publishers and businessmen put on developers in order to make them like not have to be paid as much because they're trying to make the development time as short as possible.
Oh, definitely. How do you think they end? I mean, like that's how they end up with so many games that are half baked, you know?
Yeah, this is what frustrates me so much because you know that Mass Effect 3 had a 2-year dev cycle. It was supposed that Mass Effect 3 it needed a
Dragon
3
Age 2,
years.
same story.
Yeah, Dragon
You know?
Age 2 had 1 year. 1 year dev cycle. And it sucked. Mass Effect 3, 2-year dev cycle. It sucked. Mass Effect 3 should have gotten 3 years. And the reason why Dragon Age Inquisition got 3 years is because the developers were like, hey, like fucking EA, do you not get that every time you cut our dev cycle short, the fans are pissed and we lose face? And then they were like, okay, fine, 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I would much rather have them. I mean, like, as impatient as it makes me, it doesn't. I don't get mad about them postponing a game because it's like, okay, clearly you guys know what you're talking about better than we do. Like, I would much rather have them put off a game release and have it work 100%, have it, you know, have them be able to put the kind of time into it that it needs. So.
On the other side of the spectrum is Kentucky something something, where they haven't released the 4th episode in 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's kind of too long. It's like way too long. And like all these early access games where the developer just goes, I'm not going to work on it anymore after people paid for early access. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
There should be some fail safes for early access. For sure.
Like
Definitely.
like a contingency, basically.
Yeah, because I think that if a developer doesn't finish a game for the early access on Steam, there should be at least a partial refund or something like that.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know what it is because I don't know how any of it works, but I think there should be something to guarantee that if somebody goes early access, excuse me, and sells a ton of copies and gets the funding it needs in order to finish the game, and then the developer goes, I don't feel like it anymore. Nah, no thanks. You know?
I'm bored.
Like, you know? Because I see a lot of games on Steam where that happens to. But I also see a lot of games where it works out and is actually really good. So, it's good and the bad, you know?
Yeah. In any case, I have not played Banjo-Kazooie in forever, but I loved it when it came out, which was a very long time ago.
I assume this is a spiritual successor, not...
That's what I said at the beginning.
Oh, sorry. I was distracted by watching the game.
Literally used that exact phrase.
Okay, sorry.
So I'm glad
My
you
bad.
heard me subconsciously.
Okay. Well,
Even
I was
if you
seeing a lizard
actually
and a
listen.
bat, and I was like, well, that's not a bear and a bird, so...
Yeah, but it's there's Yuka the lizard and Laylee is a bat. So,
Ukulele? Oh my gosh.
yeah, like Banjo-Kazooie, it's ukulele. Right? I know, it's awesome. So, I'm very excited about it, even though I'm probably not going to see it for another few years.
World's first commercially available jetpack to be available next year.
Oh, yes. Are
Here
we
we
going to
go.
buy one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to fund Geek Remix's Kickstarter to get a jetpack?
Yeah, why? I mean, like, we don't have to settle for those, like, bullshit water jetpacks, Mari. I want a real jetpack.
$150,000 next year. So let's see. 2-liter
could-
petrol engine drives 2 fans either side of the pilot to lift the jet up. So it's not like a fire one. Because whenever I see those jetpacks that, like,
Fire?
that whatever stunt guys use or whatever, it's like fire right next to their butt. And I'm like, whoa, don't do that, you know?
Don't do that. Don't do that, no.
Okay, we're having a lot of close-ups of it, but you're not showing me what it is. Okay, there's a... Can you show me it happening, though? Cool. That's cool.
I know, they're like, let's strap him in here, and then we'll show you the Earth.
Triangulate. Oh, here we go. I'm seeing it. No, I don't want to see you. I want to see it. Here we go. All right. I'm excited. Okay. That's not really a jetpack. That's like a jet seat. That's like not
It's like
a jet.
it's like those medical tables where they like strap the person to it and then they can transport them standing.
Yes. This is... They allowed them to fly like that? Oh, they're virtual reality flying now. Okay, I guess that's cool too.
Yeah, we'll just have them fly in front of a green screen. That's the same. It'll give everybody the right idea.
Okay, so are you gonna show me... This is purely conceptual, isn't it? This is bullshit. They keep showing me, like, cool angles of it, and then, like, going off the ground by, like, 2 feet, and then going back down, and then, like, fake videos of... Oh, here we go. Is that real, or is that on a green screen? He's probably, like, 1 foot off the ground right now, and they're, like, angled it just right.
Yeah, realistically, probably, yeah. They do have a hoverboard
Wait,
now.
Stacy, there's a cool... This is stupid. I'm sorry, continue.
No, it's not. They have a hoverboard.
Where?
It's like here, I'll send you a link. It's like like a hover skateboard.
If you try to message Stacy or I on Skype, we're not gonna answer. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, nothing against anybody. It's just I don't know. This week...
It's like when people keep trying to add me on Steam. I'm like, no.
Is this like a... What if they're faking it? What if this is like a joke?
No, there are people that actually wrote it.
But, you know...
I know,
Yeah.
it's the internet. Who really knows?
Like, I've been hurt before.
Yeah.
Is this the video?
Da 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 da.
Oh, this is the...
I don't know if it's a video of the actual thing or if it's just like, here is the conceptual science behind a hoverboard. And you're like, no, I don't want conceptual science. I want a video of you doing sick tricks on the hoverboard.
I want sick tricks.
Sick
I don't
tricks.
want concepts. I want sick tricks.
Yep.
Stacy. What is that?
But can you imagine if, so here's what I'm picturing, okay? I'm picturing a hoverboard, like a Wii hoverboard, and virtual reality, and you can do virtual skateboarding tricks in your living room.
Well, they already made that game, and it wasn't good.
Yes, but we could do it better now because there's an actual hoverboard.
What the hell is this? Oh, I understand what this is now. Okay. Can it only hover on, like, Whoa, this is freaking me out. Can it only hover on a track, or can it hover anywhere?
I didn't read it. I brought this up because you were like, oh, like, concepts blow. Like, oh, that's not a real
Wait, it's
jetpack.
happening. It's happening. Oh, wait. What?
So,
Uh-oh. The beat dropped. There is no such thing as impossible! Oh my god, is it real? Is it happening? Does it have to be cold all the time? No, it takes too much power for it to be that cold all the time. Step on it? What? Oh!
it's hovering.
But it's like, it has to be cold in order for it to work. So it's not really, you know what I mean? It has to be like sub-zero super duper cold for it to work.
I'm not saying like, oh, it's done. Like, we can quit now. I'm
No,
saying.
I'm just... One day, AJ, we're gonna have it. It's gonna happen, right? We have a hover dog.
Yes. No, no.
Meow, 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 meow. That's me making sounds with my dog. Don't worry about it. Now it's a Stacy one. What is this? Counseling by text for depressed and suicidal teens.
Mm-hmm.
To make things happier now, Stacy has chosen this.
Sorry. It's actually, I'm actually not, the article's not about the service itself. The article's about, so there's this this company called DataKind.
Oh no.
And
was this bad?
No.
Okay.
DataKind is really good.
Okay.
They're a company that pairs up like data experts with nonprofits for free, to pair them up with like projects that they need to do. So if you look at some of the diagrams in the article, the data experts can help figure out like which states are most affected by like eating disorders and like different issues, so that hopefully they can start using the data to help people that are suffering from those issues and focus like services around where they're having the most trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's the service has been used a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of neat because you don't hear about that too much. You hear about like all the bad parts of like data science.
I've already assumed everything is bad.
Yeah, I know.
Worry. Don't worry.
But
it's all bad.
But it's really depressing. Like suicide is the third leading cause of death among people aged 10 to 24.
Oh no.
I know. So it's really important that people do as much as they can to help out in any way possible. So, which is why if you're having issues, you should reach out to somebody that you trust. And even if it's like some sort of like crisis text line, then, that's a really good option. Sorry, I know this is like a super serious, like, yeah, in between talking about hoverboards and stuff and ukulele, we're going to talk about...
No, Stacey's just bringing it real. She's keeping it real.
So...
Okay. My turn. We have an iPad for the blind, which is more like a Kindle for the blind, but whatever. World's first tactile tablet is iPad for the blind, is what they're calling it. Those aren't my words. The first ever Braille tablet has been developed using a new liquid-based technology to create tactile relief. Get out of here. Tactile relief outputting Braille graphics and maps for the blind and partially lighted. So it's like a liquid that changes shape to make Braille. That's crazy, right?
What?
Yeah. You ever see those Visa liquids or whatever?
What, a Visa liquid? So the front of it, is it just
It's like liquid underneath like a barrier.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
So it's
special
like
type of liquid. You know that magnetic liquid?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Yeah.
This is revolutionary. We want to solve a great issue, and that's literacy of blind people. The technology is quite scalable, so we can output images and put any tactile relief representation like maps and graphics such as geometric figures in order to serve as educational tool for blind people.
Mari, Lenymph has can it be used for porn?
Yeah, well, they already make porn for
Erotica!
blind people. Do you know that they already make porn for blind people? It's like plastic sheets pressed into the shapes of sex things. Do you know that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I know all. Yeah.
You know all. It's okay. Just, all. That's enough. Pay no attention to the porn behind the curtain.
New
So-
liquid-based technology. So that's like cool, right? Like it's liquid. It's like nanobots.
Oh my god.
Well, look at it.
You
It looks
sound-
like
you
it looks like
sound
something
like-
from Dune. You know? Doesn't it look like something from like Dune or something?
I guess.
It looks cool. I think it looks cool. Anyway, I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool that they have like a Kindle for blind people because I guess I had never considered that before.
That
That-
Kindle's, yeah.
Well, not that Kindles can't be used by blind people because that's pretty obvious, but more that nobody you know that they have books, but like this is much better than that because you don't need to have the physical books.
Mhm.
I don't know.
No, I feel you.
Um
Something
Any-
you should know about Steam. What should I know?
So they data mined Steam to find out, yeah, about the user base. So if you go down to the first map, it shows the players that play Counter-Strike versus Dota 2.
Oh my god.
And like, I know. And then
the
if you
most
keep going,
unsurprising data I've ever seen in my life.
right? And then if you keep going down, there's like 22.5 million gamers in the US, which I can't decide if I'm like surprised by that number, thinking it's high or thinking it's low.
It's high. There's
22
100. There's 100.
22.5 million. That's
I think there's 130 million in the United States. Like
What?
just people.
no, there's Mari, there's like 305 million in the US.
Well, what are you gonna do? 318
You're thinking
million.
of like the population of Canada.
So there's 318 million. So that's actually a pretty high percentage for someone for a bunch of people using one quote unquote service.
Yes. So, and I mean, like, they quote that as like 22.5 million gamers, but really, that's not that's not all the gamers.
That's not people who are using that's PC gamers, I will say. Or computer gamers.
Computer gamers that specifically use Steam. But
I should have. You know what? Never mind. I
What?
should have filled out that survey, because if it says, and then it turns out that 1% of gamers are women, I'd be like, fuck! I didn't
Oh
fill out the survey, you know?
Yeah. No,
Like-
they don't. This isn't a survey. This is data mining.
Oh, and they didn't do the gender thing. What the fuck?
Yeah. And then so it also looks at United Kingdom, China.
Free to play is off the charts.
Yeah. So everybody likes free things, clearly. And role-playing games. And then yeah, I don't know. So there's like obviously more stuff in here than we can go over.
So there's like this chart that I don't feel like interpreting. Oh, there's a lot of lines and bars in this one.
Here's what I thought was weird. This thing at the bottom, what does that mean exactly?
Sorry, I knocked the mic. Wait, what thing? This thing without any PR, with PR?
Oh no, I meant the common misconceptions part.
I don't. This is probably
I'm
gonna be
gonna
something
just skip
insulting,
that,
isn't
'cause
it?
No,
Drop
I just-
your Steam. Let's go mobile. Free to play. Just
I-
buy-
I'm moving on. It says so in
Who
the
the
games.
fuck wrote this?
I don't know, but in the games
Like
for
I see the like the charts and I'm like and then when I read the words I'm like, who is this douchebag?
I know, right? And I mean
No! God damn it! I just got to the woman part.
Yeah, don't read the words. The words are horrible.
Okay. I'm like,
But
God damn it. Oh, fuck.
what irritates me is that they're saying that while female gamers constitute a large part of the PC gaming audience, 49 to 51% on research, they are less likely to be on Steam. But, a big but, a lot of women do not put their gender
Or say
associated
that
with their
they are
profile,
men.
or they lie a
They
lot.
lie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, 18% is still a large chunk of a market. Think of it this way, 18% of sales. So when you're making a game, do you want to lose out on 18% of sales? That's all I've got to say.
Yeah.
And I would just like to point something out. Our Geek
Well,
Remix
and-
channel is 51% female. You know why? Because we're not douchebags.
And I
We
was
are.
gonna
Well, actually, no. We are douchebags. We're just
yeah,
different kinds of douchebags.
Yeah, tricky.
We
We're
try
like
not to
vagina-
be. We try not to be mean based off of who a person is, but rather on their extreme personality flaws. You know.
And I really don't like the idea that some people think that there's like women games and male games, because it's like yes there are games that like appeal to women, but it's like that's usually because some of the games that quote unquote appeal to men, and that's like a marketing term. I'm not saying that men actually like these things. Like marketers push games at men that have stereotypical male characters that like they're not even like not even all men like play them, and they're like, yeah, like this is great. It's just like, yeah, like this is what is marketed towards us, so we play it. Do you know what I mean?
I would also like to point out that analytics sometimes perpetuates its own stereotypes without even doing things, by just being numbers. Because what Google does is assumes your gender based off your interests if you don't define your gender.
Yeah.
So if you are a girl and you never define your gender on Google by clicking male or female, and you end up watching a lot of videos about games that Google assumes is for guys, it assumes you're a guy. So then it adds you to the tally of guys watching that type of game.
Yeah.
So there's a unknown amount of analytics, of gender-based analytics, I will say, based towards like all these people who never just checked one box, and it assuming that these people are different things, when it could be one person on the computer or two people on the computer, or somebody, or a guy who's really into gardening, or a girl who's really into mechanics. Like, they actually gender different interests in Google. I did a lot of research on this when I did one of my videos.
Yeah. And I don't like the idea that things have to be like color coded pink or blue for us to figure out who's supposed to watch them.
Oh, I don't know what to watch. Maker Studios said that the women's section was for makeup and the men's section was for video games, and then showed me a big picture of Dodger. I don't know. I was like, what the fuck?
So in any case, I guess what I'm trying to get at with this was that sometimes statistics can be very straightforward, you know, saying this is how many gamers there are in the US, and other times they're really not, because, you know, a lot of the way things are attributed in analytics is flawed the way it is right now. So trying to assign gender is really tricky. And also from a marketing standpoint, trying to figure out like who bought something based on which ad they saw, that's like a really big deal in marketing right now, is trying to figure that out.
I feel like the data in this article is awesome, but the analysis is not.
Well, the analysis is biased. In
our opinions.
Yes.
So that is great article though. I love the data.
Yeah, and it's just, it's something for you guys to keep in mind, like when you're reading articles, that sometimes things aren't always what they appear to be. Sometimes a statistic that you assume is true just because it seems like it makes sense, that doesn't always mean that that's the whole story. Because people that put things together, like they're people too. People make mistakes, and people also interpret things wrong. And you know, it doesn't mean that you should accept everything at face value.
Well, that's
Like,
the reason why we always try to show you guys the articles. And in the older podcasts, I always put the links to every single article and said, these are our opinions. And
investigate
you
it
should read
yourself.
it. You
Yeah.
should read it yourself. Because what we're saying is just our opinions. And even Stacy and I obviously are going to color things with our own opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't just take our opinions. I mean, it would be awesome if you did, because
Yeah.
that's
If you
my
want,
ego.
that's fine.
Like, I love it when people tell me I'm right and that I'm perfect. But, I'm not, though. That's the thing. Like, we're going to have opinions and have things that color our interpretation of things, and you should question that.
We definitely
Always.
don't poop, though. We're girls. Girls don't poop.
Girls don't poop. Not
Okay.
real.
So, that's a fallacy. Girls don't do that.
What are they talking to each other in chat?
I think they are. They're talking about video game characters without us.
Can they hear us? I'm worried, because if they're talking to each other, that means that we're not being interesting.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, they can. All right.
Sorry that we're...
Well, no, they were talking about lesbians. So.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All
You
right.
can't
That's
compete.
okay then.
Because of today, you guys can talk about all the lesbians you want.
Yes. Just because it's a special day, we will give you guys the rights to talk about all of them.
Actually,
At
every
once.
day is Lesbian Day.
Lesbian Appreciation Day is every day.
And Gay Day. If you guys
Yeah.
have any pictures of guys kissing, feel free to send that to me. No pressure. It's because I appreciate, that kind of thing. It's for civil rights and for my personal folders. Don't worry. It's fine. Hackers stole secrets of U.S. government workers' sex lives. That's definitely a clickbait thing. But to get to, the actual facts, I will go over that what we assume is quote-unquote Chinese hackers or, spies or whatever got a bunch of information from government agencies, and from what I'm hearing from other people is that lots of other companies that are just simply connected to government agencies lost their information as well. And then some insurance companies lost their information too. So it's like polygraph test results, porn stuff, what people's preferences are, and their fears, and their personality tests and everything. These are
What?
not only is it information, it's your brain.
Yeah.
Because you have to take certain tests to be able to work for the government. And my dog is rolling around on the floor moaning to himself, so I'm sorry if you can hear that.
No, it's all right. I should probably go, though.
Oh, you have to end it?
Yeah.
All right. That's the end of the podcast.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.